Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place you come to cut through the noise, get straight to the insights you really need. If you've ever found yourself, facing a mountain of articles or research, maybe even a classic film, and wondering, how do I get the good stuff out? Well, you're in the right place. We're here to give you that shortcut to being truly well-informed. Expect surprising facts, maybe a bit of humor too, keep you hooked. Today, we're embarking on a really fascinating deep dive. It's a cinematic masterpiece, actually, that illustrates what we do perfectly. Hayao Miyazaki's Castle in the Sky. Studio Ghibli, of course. We've looked at, a lot of stuff. Analyses, production notes, reviews, all to bring you a really elevated understanding of this film. We'll cover the characters, the incredible setting, how the story flows, and maybe most importantly, the life lessons it offers.
Right. And our mission today, it's not just about running through the plot. We want to uncover the adventure, yes, but also those deeper layers, the artistic stuff, the philosophy, the things that stick with you long after the credits roll. We'll be exploring how this film, which came out way back in 1986, still speaks so clearly to us about, big ideas, things like power, nature, and the connections we make with each other. Deep dive into Castle in the Sky.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Castle in the Sky. It's often called steampunk fantasy adventure. What does that actually mean for the world we see? And what makes the Ghibli version of steampunk feel so, different?
That's a great question. What's really striking is Miyazaki's blend. It's this mix of gritty, almost industrial realism, and then just soaring fantasy. The film opens in this 19th century mining town, very grounded, apparently inspired by whales after the miners' strikes, which adds this layer of social commentary right away.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that specific detail.
Yeah, it grounds it, but then boom, you're immediately shifting focus to Laputa, this legendary floating city, completely mystical. And it's powered by an Ethereum crystal, which is, this mythical energy source. Sounds ancient, powerful, kind of hints at Laputa being both a wonder and maybe a weapon.
A double-edged sword, then.
Exactly. And Laputa itself, floating up there, it's got these lush gardens, but also these giant robots. That visual clash right there sets up the film's core tension. Nature versus human ambition, technology versus the earth, and the steampunk part. It's not just cool-looking gears, though there are plenty.
Right, the airships.
The airships. Miyazaki loved aviation, and you can tell he apparently oversaw the design of almost every flying machine. Think about Muska's huge battleship, the Goliath. Every single gear, piston, exhaust pipe, it's drawn with such mechanical realism, you almost believe it could fly.
Wow, that level of detail.
It's pure Ghibli. They make the fantasy feel tangible, believable. And that detail, it just reinforces that theme, that push and pull between human invention and the power of nature.
Okay, so at the heart of all this tech and fantasy, we've got two orphans, seemingly ordinary kids caught up in something huge. Tell us about Sheeta and Pazu. What makes them tick?
Right, so we have Sheeta. She's about 13. Turns out she's the heir, princess of Laputa. She starts off quiet, maybe a bit reserved, but underneath she's incredibly kind, wise, and actually very courageous. She's scared, mostly for other people, but she stepped up, uses her intelligence, her compassion. She really takes charge of her legacy, to protect people. And Laputa itself.
And Pazu?
Pazu, he's maybe 14. Bright kid, determined, really good with machines. His big motivation is his father's dream. His dad saw Laputa, took a picture, but nobody believed him. So Pazu wants to prove him right.
That's his driving force.
Totally, and he's just fiercely brave and caring, risks everything for Sheeta almost instantly. Their bond, it develops through all this danger, and it really becomes the emotional anchor of the whole story. You really root for them.
And they don't have an easy time of it. Who are they up against? And who helps them out, maybe unexpectedly?
Well, the main antagonist is Colonel Muska. He's chilling, really cold, calculating, a military guy. But there's a twist. He's also a descendant of Laputa's royalty. So he feels he has this right to its power, the crystal, its ancient weapons.
Oh, so it's personal for him, too.
Very. And he's absolutely ruthless in chasing that power. Causes chaos wherever he goes.
Doesn't feel like someone you want to cross.
Definitely not. But then on the other side, you get the Dola gang.
Yes, the air pirates.
The air pirates! Such a great group. Led by Dola, who's this loud, boisterous, kind of a tough mom figure.
A mama bear for you.
Exactly. Initially, initially, they're just after treasure like you'd expect pirates to be, but they really evolve. They become these incredible, unexpected allies. Their rough charm, the humor they bring, it adds so much depth, and it really highlights these themes of like found family and maybe even a little redemption.
Okay, so the story, it really kicks off immediately, doesn't it? With that incredibly dramatic opening, Sheeta falling from the sky.
Oh, absolutely. It just drops you right in. She literally descends from an airship, saved by her glowing pendant, and Pazu catches her. That sets the whole quest in motion.
Establishes the magic and the danger right away.
Precisely. And their connection starts right there, in that moment of rescue. Then they're on the run, constantly. Pazu shows Sheeta his town, the mine, and crucially, that photo his father took of Laputa. That gives her hope, gives them both a destination.
So they're building trust while dodging bad guys?
Exactly. Dodging Muska's soldiers and Dola's pirates at first. It's this constant chase, this dance of discovery and evasion. It really forges their bond under pressure, makes it feel earned, you know?
But the chase can't last forever. Eventually, both the military and the pirates catch up, right? Leads to capture, separation.
It does. And that separation, it's tough, but it also forces them both to grow, to rely on their own strengths for a bit. And it's during this time that Muska really shows his true colors. Utterly chilling.
This is where he reveals Sheeta's lineage.
Yes, confirms she's Laputan royalty. But worse, he reveals his plan. Use the crystal's power for, basically, global military domination. He betrays anyone, everyone who gets in his way. He's the embodiment of that dangerous idea power without any empathy, without ethics.
That reveal, him laying out his plan, it really makes him stand out, doesn't it? Compared to other Ghibli villains who might be more complex or sympathetic.
It really does. Because Muska isn't just greedy or misguided like some others might be. He's driven by this cold, intellectual conviction. He believes he deserves this power because of his lineage.
Like an inherited right to rule, but in the worst way.
Exactly. And he uses deception, manipulation so calmly. The way he activates Laputa's weapons later on, it's terrifying. He represents that unchecked scientific and military ambition gone completely wrong. It's not just personal gain. He sees it as destiny, a global threat he intends to control.
But even facing someone they're calculating, Sheeta and Pazu don't just roll over. They find help in surprising places.
No way. Pazu shows incredible bravery. He actually teams up with Dola and her crew.
The pirates. I love that twist.
It's fantastic, isn't it? They help him rescue Sheeta in this amazing aerial chase sequence. That alliance is just so charming, unexpected, adds that whole found family layer.
So the pirates become the good guys, sort of.
In a way, yeah. They're still rough, but their loyalty shifts. And together, this unlikely team finally makes it to Laputa through these insane storm clouds, this almost living barrier protecting the island.
Okay, so they reach Laputa. Muska gets his hands on the controls. The stakes are impossibly high. How does Miyazaki resolve this huge confrontation? What's the final image?
The climax inside Laputa is just breathtaking. Muska activates the castle's full, terrifying power. He's threatening the entire world. And it's Sheeta, reclaiming who she is, reclaiming that crystal, who makes the impossible choice. She urges Pazu to say the destruction spell with her, the spell of ruin.
To destroy her own heritage, basically.
To prevent its power from being misused, yes, it's a huge sacrifice. Muska is defeated, blinded, falls. Laputa starts to crumble.
So it's just destruction?
Not entirely, and this is the genius part. Laputa partially collapses, yes. The weapons, the lower city, gone. But the heart of it, the giant tree, the gardens, nature itself, it prevails. It breaks free and continues to float higher now. Sheeta, Pazu, and the pirates escape. And the final shot. It's Laputa's upper part, teeming with life, nurtured by those ancient roots and the remaining robots. It's not just death, it's rebirth. Nature endures. A really hopeful cycle, actually.
Wow. Okay, so pulling back from the action.
Oh.
Beyond the amazing visuals, the thrilling plot, what are the big takeaways, the things that stick with you after this deep dive into Castle in the Sky?
Well, it really makes you think about power, doesn't it? What is its true nature? What responsibility comes with it? That crystal, the ethereum, it's presented as both knowledge and destruction. Like Miyazaki might be drawing on ideas like kotodama from Japanese tradition, where things and words hold real power.
So how you use it defines you.
Exactly. Muska wants control, distraction. Sheeta wants harmony. It forces you to think, how do we use the power we have, whatever form it takes? It's a constant theme in his films, this philosophical question.
And you mentioned nature prevailing. That environmental message feels incredibly strong, very signature Miyazaki.
Oh, absolutely central. Laputa's rooftop forest, the animals living there peacefully, even those gardener robots. It's all about symbiosis, living with nature, not dominating it. It's fascinating how the robots, originally maybe guards or tools, become caretakers of life when Laputa is abandoned. Shows technology finding purpose in serving nature, not destroying it.
A call for ecological awareness, then.
A powerful one, yeah. A reminder that real strength is often in nurturing life, not conquering things.
And courage and loyalty, they're just beaming out of Pazu and Sheeta. How are those shown? Is it just about big heroic moments?
It's both, I think. Pazu's determination to find Sheeta, even facing down the military, that's the kind of courage Miyazaki often highlights. Not just flashy heroism, but that quiet, persistent bravery, protecting who you care about against the odds.
And Sheeta facing her fear.
Right. She reclaims her heritage not to rule, but to dismantle its destructive side. And crucially, it's not just individual courage. When their bravery combines with the loyalty of the Dola gang, that chosen family.
It becomes something bigger.
Exactly, a collective force. Strong enough to actually change things, to overcome Muska.
Muska clearly shows the danger of power without ethics. But does the film maybe hint that even well-intentioned power, like whatever Laputa was originally for, can go wrong?
That's a really insightful point. Muska is the immediate danger, inherited power with no moral compass. Big warning sign there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the very fact that Laputa could be weaponized, even if it started differently, suggests that immense power itself is inherently dangerous if it's not balanced, if it's not tied to compassion, to nature.
Like a warning about hubris, technological or social.
I think so. A subtle warning about the potential for even great creations to become destructive if we lose sight of that balance, that ethical grounding.
And finally, that idea of family you mentioned. Not just blood ties, but chosen family. That feels really important here.
It's beautiful, isn't it? The connection they forge with Dola and her crew, these rough, eccentric pirates. It totally underscores that love, loyalty, family. These can be chosen.
They start as antagonists almost.
They do, chasing treasure. But they end up risking everything for these two kids. That found family dynamic, it adds so much emotional warmth and depth. It shows that belonging can come from the most unexpected places. A really lovely counterpoint to Muska's solitary, power-hungry path.
It really does weave this incredible visual experience with these deep, timeless themes. Friendship, looking after our planet, moral choices. It's just a masterclass in that classic, hand-drawn animation style, full of wonder. And it proves, that a thrilling adventure can also carry these really profound messages that make you think.
Absolutely. And connecting it to the bigger picture, the film really invites you, the listener, to think about how we wield power, any power, and how much we should value the bonds we choose to build. It reminds us that balance. It's not just about avoiding the bad stuff, like destruction. It's about actively nurturing life in the world and in our own communities. It's a gentle push towards maybe a more harmonious way of being.
Yeah. So whether you're watching it again or maybe for the first time after hearing this, Castle in the Sky is just timeless. It really soars literally and, spiritually too. What stands out to you now, thinking back on it? Is it Sheeta's quiet strength, Pazu's loyalty, that powerful message about respecting nature? We really encourage you to revisit the film, maybe with some of these ideas in mind. Let those themes sink in a bit deeper. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep questioning.